And finally, before we get to your questions, we have some news to announce.
Commissioner Cathy Engelbert, commissioner of the WNBA, just announced that starting in 2025, the WNBA finals format will change.
The WNBA just dropped a major bombshell during the playoffs, and it's all thanks to the Caitlin Clark effect. Big rule changes are coming in 2025, but the real question is it too late to make a difference? Clark's early playoff exit left arenas half empty and TV ratings struggling. Now, the league's front office is making bold moves to turn things around. But will these new rules actually solve the deeper issues? Let's talk about Clark's influence. She didn't just play, she transformed the game. She broke 62 records, filled arenas to capacity, and sent TV viewership soaring. Every night, Clark and the Fever delivered highlight-worthy moments, and fans couldn't get enough.
Well, I knew the atmosphere was going to be electric when they announced Caitlin's name in the dark and the fans went crazy.
But here's the hard truth. The moment Caitlin Clark was out, everything fell apart. Ratings plummeted by a staggering 80%, and some arenas started looking like ghost towns. Entire sections were covered up just to save face on live broadcasts. Let's be real, are you even surprised? Clark was single-handedly carrying the league. Now she's off the court, and the WNBA is left scrambling. Can the league survive without its biggest star? These new rule changes better deliver, because right now, things aren't looking good. Before we dive into the details, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Ready? Let's get into it.
Staying with the WNBA playoffs, let's stay here. Let's just say the ratings aren't the same with Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever now eliminated. By the way, not only was viewership down, but attendance was as well.
The WNBA is clearly in crisis mode and pulling out all the stops. But here's the real shocker. The changes coming aren't just minor adjustments. We're talking about a major overhaul that could either save the league or sink it further. The big question is, will these moves be enough to close the massive Caitlin Clark-shaped gap in ratings? Or is the league on a slow slide back into obscurity? Let's take a look at what they are doing. First on the list, they are expanding the regular season from 40 to 44 games, thanks to the addition of a brand new team in 2025, the Golden State Valkyries. That's right, 4 more games to catch your favorite squad in action. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe my channel for more awesome content. Thanks.
Getting to go to multiple arenas so that people that are watching at home can see this environment in a multitude of cities. It's amazing. I love it. The growth continues.
But that's not all. The finals are getting a major upgrade too. Instead of the usual best-of-5 format, they are moving to a best-of-7 series.
Starting in 2025, the WNBA finals format will change to a best-of-7 series.
Yes!
And the format will be 2-2-1-1-1.
The league's thinking is clear. More games mean more fans, and more fans mean more revenue. And it doesn't stop there. They are also revamping the first round of the playoffs. It's shifting to a 1-1-1 format, which guarantees the lower-seeded team at least one home game.
This is nice for the fans. It's a benefit for your team. Has played well enough to get into the playoffs. So now that your fans will be able to see your team play at home during those playoffs.
Yeah.
Remember the Fever vs. Sun series? The Indiana Fever never got the chance to return home and play in front of their fans at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, largely due to the chaos surrounding Games 1 and 2. Looks like the league finally realized that lower seeds deserve a shot to play on their home court too. Now, Commissioner Cathy Engelbert is trying to pitch these changes as strategic, calling it a constant balancing of the schedule. But let's be honest, it feels more like a desperate scramble to keep the league afloat without its biggest star.
With the increased attention this year, there's also been increased scrutiny about the quality of refereeing. Curious if there has been any conversation about whether it's referee pay, referee training, anything to ensure that is as good as it can be.
But let's get real. Are these changes actually giving fans what they want? More games might look good on paper, but what about the things that truly matter, like player safety and fair officiating? Those concerns seem to have been completely brushed aside by Engelbert.
Yeah, and the one thing as a very long-term sports fan I know is that officiating and refereeing is always at the top of a fan's list, of the media's list. Obviously, not every, they're humans.
It feels like the league is slapping on a fresh coat of paint over a crumbling foundation and calling it a renovation. Let's not insult the intelligence of fans. They know exactly what Caitlin Clark brought to the game. It wasn't just jaw-dropping talent. It was an entirely new energy, fast-paced, joyful, exciting team basketball. No-look passes, deep threes from the logo, and teammates actually working together. Now that she's out, it's right back to the same old routine. just with a few extra games. Think about it. The moment Clark left the playoffs, arenas were half empty, and TV ratings dropped faster than the Chicago Sky season. And the WNBA's big fix? Give us more of what fans are already tuning out from. How does that make sense? It really makes you wonder if anyone in the league office is actually paying attention. Because here's what fans are really asking for: the kind of basketball Clark brought, fair officiating, and player safety. Instead of solving the real issues, the league is just adding more games to the schedule.
I came to see Caitlin Clark tonight.
Oh, got to watch number 22.
I've been watching Caitlin for a couple of years, and since then I've dreamed about coming to a game.
Let's take a moment to talk ratings. When Clark was on the court, games were pulling in over 1 million viewers. Her playoff matchups hit 2 to 3 million. Without her, you're lucky to break 500,000. That's not just a drop. That's a full-on free fall. And no amount of added playoff games is going to patch up that kind of ratings collapse. So what's the real plan here? Are they hoping that by the time the 2025 season arrives, fans will have forgotten the deeper problems plaguing the league and just be excited about a few extra regular season matchups? Or maybe they are crossing their fingers that the rivalry's narrative finally takes off and saves the day.
One white, one black. And so we have that moment with these two. But the one thing I know about sports, you need rivalry. That's what makes people watch. They want to watch games of consequence between rivals. They don't want everybody being nice to one another.
Because in Cathy Engelbert's version of reality, it's not just about one player. But here's the thing, these changes could actually backfire. More games mean more physical strain on athletes. A longer playoff format increases the risk of injuries. And without major improvements to officiating, these added games are just more chances for fans to get frustrated and check out. It's like the league is in denial. They had lightning in a bottle with Caitlin Clark, and instead of learning how to harness that momentum, they are just shifting deck chairs on the Titanic. Fans aren't asking for more mediocre basketball. They want thrilling games, fair calls, and star players who are protected and allowed to shine. Look, change is tough. But simply adding a few games and calling it progress isn't going to cut it. The WNBA needs to take a serious look in the mirror and ask, are we making meaningful changes that align with what fans actually want? Or are we just trying to squeeze a little more out of the Caitlin Clark effect before the buzz fades? If you've stuck around this long and are enjoying the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We appreciate your time. Now, let's get back to it.
I noticed when you're asking about Caitlin a lot, you bring up other rookies as well.
No league's ever about one player. That player could get hurt or whatever. So I think it's just to give recognition that in sports, people watch for compelling content and rivalries. And you can't do that alone as one person.
Everyone's busy talking about rule changes, but they are missing the bigger picture, the elephant in the room. What if I told you Caitlin Clark didn't just change the game on the court? She rewrote the WNBA's entire playbook, from the boardroom to living rooms all across the country. Let's talk numbers, because they don't lie. Clark's jersey became the best-selling rookie jersey in WNBA history. That's more than just impressive. It's a game-changing win for a league hungry for star power. And it goes far beyond merchandise. Throughout her games in 2024, a staggering 54 million viewers tuned in. Yes, 54 million. That's not a typo. When was the last time the WNBA saw numbers like that?
And the Fever are going to be over 200,000 higher than the next highest total attendance in league history.
Clarkonomics, my friend!
Now here's where things get serious. With Clark on the court, nationally televised games averaged an impressive 1.2 million viewers. Without her, that number nosedives to just 440,000. That's not just a dip, it's a collapse. And it wasn't just on TV. The WNBA shattered attendance records during Clark's season, drawing over 1.5 million fans to arenas. People weren't just tuning in, they were showing up in person, packing venues across the country. You might be thinking, okay, but it's just one player. Wrong. Clark wasn't just a player, she was a cultural phenomenon. She made women's basketball appointment viewing. She had people talking about the WNBA around the water cooler and lighting up social media. When was the last time the league generated that kind of buzz?
She is growing to be the face of the WNBA, reason why her presence on court grabs just as much interest as some of the biggest names over in the men's event. The viewership of the regular season saw 54 million people tune in to watch the WNBA, a boost of 170% from last year.
So why are fans tuning out now? It's not just because Caitlin Clark is off the court, it's because of what she represented: fast-paced, high-scoring, edge of your seat basketball. That's the kind of energy fans crave. And now, it feels like we've slipped right back into the same old, uninspiring routine. But it goes deeper than missing Clark's style of play. Fans are frustrated with the league's bigger issues, ones that just keep getting ignored. Player safety? Practically a joke. Fair officiating? Don't make us laugh. Think back to the infamous eye poke incident or the underwhelming Rookie of the Year ceremony. These aren't isolated mistakes, they're signs of a league that's become disconnected from what both fans and players truly care about.
That's what's called being a consumer. You get to buy what you want to purchase.
Let's take a minute to talk about leadership. Cathy Engelbert and her team seem more focused on chasing quick wins than building a strong, sustainable, and competitive league. They struck gold with Caitlin Clark, but instead of using that momentum to lift the entire WNBA, they simply rode the wave until it crashed. Now, they are scrambling to patch the holes with rule changes that feel more like damage control than progress. So, Engelbert and company, do you really think tweaking a few rules is going to fix everything? Let's be honest. These changes aren't just a band-aid on a broken leg. They are a smokescreen, meant to distract from the deeper problems the WNBA doesn't want to talk about. Let's start with player safety. Remember when Clark took that brutal eye poke during the playoffs and no foul was called? That wasn't just a missed call. It was dangerous. And it highlights a much bigger issue with how this league handles its stars and protects its players.
I don't even know why I would intend to hit anybody in the eye. That doesn't even make sense to me. But no, I didn't. I didn't know I hit her, actually. I was trying to make a play on the ball, and I guess I followed through and I hit her. So obviously it's never intentional. That's not even like the type of player that I am.
And this isn't just some one-off incident. Caitlin Clark was on the receiving end of a staggering 77% of all flagrant fouls in the league during her rookie season. Let that sink in, one player taking nearly all the hardest hits. Was this the return of the Jordan rules, and no one told us? But hey, at least she got Rookie of the Year, right? Wrong. Picture this. Clark breaks records, reshapes the game, becomes the face of the league, and how does the WNBA honor her? With a phone call. In a practice gym. No ceremony, no fanfare, no celebration worthy of the history she was making. It's almost like the league didn't want to acknowledge just how much she's done. And that raises a tough question. Does the WNBA actually care about its stars? Or are they just chasing headlines and hoping for easy wins?
They decided that they were going to let her know she was Rookie of the Year with a phone call in Connecticut during a practice before a playoff game. You can't make this up.
And here's the real irony. Fans aren't falling for it. They're not just missing Clark's electrifying playstyle. They are fed up with the league's deeper issues, lack of player safety, inconsistent officiating, and poor recognition for its biggest stars. Where are the press conferences addressing these problems? These aren't minor bumps in the road. They are signs of a league that's completely out of sync with what its fans and players truly care about. No amount of extra games or player format changes is going to fix that. So what's the real solution? It's going to take more than a few rule tweaks. The WNBA needs a full-on overhaul, top to bottom, inside and out. That means putting player safety front and center, with clear rules and real consequences for dangerous play. It means investing in proper training for officials so that calls are fair and consistent, not all over the place.
Let me speak for every one of those fans when I say, I will put my time, my effort, my enjoyment into whatever makes me happy. I enjoy watching her play, and that makes me happy.
And seriously, it's time the WNBA starts treating its stars like actual stars. When you've got someone like Caitlin Clark breaking records and drawing in millions of viewers, you don't downplay it. You roll out the red carpet. You celebrate her, elevate her, and use that momentum to uplift the entire league. But here we are. The WNBA is scrambling to fill the massive gap left by Clark with a handful of new rule changes, more games, longer playoffs. Sounds good on paper, right? But let's be honest, are a few extra games really going to solve the league's core issues? We're talking about a league that can't protect its stars, can't deliver consistent officiating, and can't even properly honor its biggest talents. Now, with Clark out of the picture, ratings are in a tailspin and arenas are emptier than ever. So here's the million-dollar question. Is it already too late? And even if it's not, are these even the right changes? Because from where I'm sitting, it feels like the WNBA is trying to fight a forest fire with a water pistol. The real challenge isn't adding games, it's learning from the Caitlin Clark effect and doing the work to create a league that can thrive with or without one superstar. What do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments, make sure to like and subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a thing. Click the next video on screen, and we'll catch you in the next one.